The last part of today is we're going to look at a certain form for the absolute value function. It's right here. It's called vertex form. All right, I've been asking you to talk about the vertex for the first half of class. Now for this half, we're going to focus on the vertex form. So it's right here. Again, you should notice a couple of things. You have an H. What does that stand for? The horizontal shift. And K stands for vertical. Okay, so make sure K for vertical, for the vertical shift. Now, another thing you should notice, inside the absolute value you have X minus H. So that's why I had you write down on the last micro lecture that you think opposite inside the absolute value. Okay, so think opposite there. All right, so anytime they give it to you in this form, you can find the vertex. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the at your boards you just did. You don't need to write this down. What was the answer for number 1? The absolute value of X plus 5. So what would be the vertex for number 1? Very good. 0, 5. There's nothing going on in the horizontal shift, right? There's nothing with the X there. So that's why it's 0. And we moved it 5 up. Okay? In number 2, what was the answer in number 2? X minus 3. Okay, so what's going to be the vertex there? Actually, it's 3, 0. Remember to think opposite. So it's 3, comma. There's nothing out here. So it's 0. Think opposite. This was 3 to the right. So it's 3, 0. 3, 0. Again, it's going to take some time. Think opposite. All right, so let's try this one. Again, if the copier messed yours up for this one, there should be another blank one on the back side that you can use. Okay, if you like just a bigger coordinate grid, that's fine too. All right, but I think the copier, this one's all right. Jacob, is yours good on this one? Great, excellent. All right, I'm going to use black for this one here. All right, so first, what is the vertex? 2, 0. There's no. And see, everyone says 2, 1, but it's actually negative 2, negative 1, bruh. Negative 2, negative 1. You got to think opposite, guys. Think opposite. Okay? That is not the answer. That is the vertex of this function. So I'm going to go plot this point. So plot this point on yours. Negative 2, negative 1. There's my vertex. That's my starting point. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's where I start my V. Okay? Now, I'm going to go up and right for the one here, this piece of my V. Because it always has to be a V for the absolute value function. So it's going to be 1, 1. It'd be 1, 1. Now, if it had to see if there's a number in front of that X, like 3, then it'd be a slope of 3. So up 3, right 1. But for our purposes, so I'm not trying to confuse you, it's always going to be up and right 1. Okay, and then don't forget, Kayla, up and left on the other side. All right, so there is our V. Now they want me to do something with that function. They want me to reflect it across the x-axis. So to graph that reflection, the way I teach students is, pick any point you want. I'm going to start with my vertex. How far away is that from the x-axis? It's 1 unit. So to reflect it, I go 1 unit on the other side. There's my new vertex. You good, Kevin?
Can you re-say that?
Yes, I can. I can re-say it. This is my original vertex, negative 2, negative 1. I want to reflect it across this axis here. It's 1 away. So on the other side, it's 1 away as well. Positive 1, yes. We'll get to that here in a second. All right, now, what about all the other points? Same thing. This one and this one, though, are on the axis, so they do not change. But these go across, and these go across. And so what do you notice about my V?
It flips. It's up, down.
It's upside down. It flips. That was, I believe that was Jacob. Was that Jacob? With the oh my gosh comment?
No.
No? It wasn't? Who was it?
That wasn't me.
No, it wasn't her. I heard it back there. I'm going to go with Jacob. It was Bashir? Jury is still out for who that was. But I'll play it back. Don't worry. Okay. I know that this isn't the exciting, okay, I get it, guys. It's not the most exciting thing. All right? But we're not finished. We're not finished because just like before at your boards, I wanted to see the new function, the new equation. I need the new function. So a lot of you guys, after looking at this slide here, wait for it, after this slide here, you guys figured out where to put your negatives. If you're having trouble with that, here's the way that I remember it. And this is what I did in high school. So you can think back to when I was, 16. 5 years ago? No, that's all right. I am 30. All right, so my favorite game to play. You good? You good? All right, if you're done, go get some water. My favorite game to play is tic-tac-toe. Okay? It's my opinion. And what do you use to play tic-tac-toe? X's and O's. Great. So if you reflect across the x-axis, I'm thinking X's and O's. So I'm thinking O, and I think outside. So my negative will go on the outside of everything. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite x plus 2 in absolute value minus 1. You should see that's just being rewritten from the original. Does everybody see that? Just rewrote it. But in front of everything, I put a negative symbol because it's on the outside. Think tic-tac-toe. You reflect across the x-axis, so X and O. O for outside, so it's outside of everything. It's okay.
Do the opposite.
Now, I'm not finished because I need to do something with this negative. Here's the wrong thing to do. If you multiply the negative across the absolute value, I will be sad. So here's how it works with the absolute value. It's just the opposite of x plus 2. So everyone see how that interacts. The negative just stays out front. You can't go through the absolute value symbol. Don't do it. Do not do it. No. Then I have the opposite of negative 1, which is 1. That is the answer right there. Now, before I let you guys go try some more, I want to go over this and so you can hopefully link all this together. So I'm going to wait till your pens or pencils are down once you finish writing the answer so you can listen. If you're still writing, keep writing. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the original, the one in black. Sorry, David. You're not finished. My bad. Go ahead. Keep writing. We're waiting on David. Cologne. Ready? Great. If you're not done, keep going. All right. Going back to the original in black. My vertex was -2, -1. And then I drew my V. Then I reflected it across the x-axis. What's the new vertex here? -2, +1. -2, +1. What does this negative sign tell me to do? Draw it upside down. So that's what it all means. It's okay if you don't get it, right? That's the first time I've ever done that, so if you don't get it, that's fine. You guys ready to try? Great. Excellent. Stand up and go.